Holy smokes!
Look at that air vent.
Who put the camera on the
Today
air
we're going to
vent?
tabletop review the dash of the Honda
Today
Insight.
we're going to tabletop review the dash and my car mount, and the air vent.
Yes, I can turn on the air vent.
Hey, look at those two good-looking guys right there.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Welcome back.
Oh, there it is.
Jiggly.
Okay, now hold on. I'm going to try to do this without violating your virtue. And there's my other phone that fell down. Luckily, I actually have more than one phone, so we're okay there. We're doing the live stream again. Fine. Okay. I wanted to get this camera angle because somebody else that was with us
at Wanamaker.
Hey, Rupan. Glad to know you're back. Glad to know you're with us for the long haul. Everybody that was down at Wanamaker with us, that was doing these impromptu live streams and everything else, most of them off their phone, because we were just walking around the gun show or in the hotel lobby, whatever. All their thumbnails are like the angle of them looking like up their nose. Well, yeah, it just seemed to me like everybody's wanting to know, like, do I have a booger? Can you guys see anything in my nose?
I need to trim this up when I get home.
No kidding. But I didn't realize how. So
let's get back to pronouncing the names because I got something I want to debate with you.
Okay, you want to debate? Okay, yes, so yes. I don't know if anybody heard it. Ruben, can you let us know how far you heard it? Were we roboting or anything? I know we were in and out because of the connection, but we talked about the town in Nebraska. It's spelled C-A-I-R-O, pronounced Cairo, not Cairo.
I call it Cairo. I refuse to change the pronunciation on it. I don't care what my Nebraska neighbors say.
Okay.
In the next town over, it's ridiculous. If you want people to think you're educated, use your education. Everybody knows. Not even no Nebraska dialect would ever pronounce it Cairo. Anyway.
Yet, all right. That's how it's pronounced.
Okay, now what were you saying about Norfolk?
Okay, now I live in Norfolk. Hey Tardot, how you doing? So I live in Norfolk, Nebraska. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the different pronunciations of towns here not here, but when we get to our state, in our state. Norfolk is spelled Norfolk, just like Norfolk, Virginia. But it has a point he wants to make about that, I think.
Well, just to me, it's like, which is ironic because I refuse to call Cairo, but when it comes to Norfolk, I call it Norfolk. So kind of being hypocritical.
You are kind of hypocritical.
And I mean, I don't know.
So now, before we get to other towns, I just want to explain.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure that nobody who's going to ever see this is going to be able to fact check me, correct me. I've heard there's different variations of the story, but the main gist of the story is when Norfolk was settled, it's called that because it's the North Fork of the Elkhorn River, not the South Fork, but the North Fork of the river.
Yes.
And so they wanted to call their town North Fork. And they I don't know how this worked back when the land was still being settled, but you had to I don't know, petition the post office or appeal to the post office or apply to the post office to get a post office and a zip code in your town. And so the Postal Service said, well, I don't know if there was a mix-up or how it worked, but anyway...
They pulled an Ellis Island on them, huh?
They pulled an Ellis Island on them, and then they said Norfolk, Nebraska. And the people were like, no, we want North Fork. And they said, well, if you want a post office, you'll spell it Norfolk. And the people said, well, we'll spell it how we have to, I guess, but we'll say it how we want to. Now, it's been contracted over the years to not North Fork. I don't say I live in North Fork. I say I live in Norfolk.
Because to me, Norfolk sounds like the people from the north, like some White Walkers.
Like
on the other side of the water.
Winter is coming.
Nor'easter. Winter's coming, Jon Snow. Jon Snow, winter's coming. We got to fight against the Walkers.
All I know about Game of Thrones is White Walkers and winter is coming.
White Walkers.
And when they made the Game of Thrones calendar, they put Peter Dinklage on February. The shortest month.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
That's all I know.
Dude, and he's the coolest guy in the whole show.
I know. I think so too.
Peter, you don't call us anymore, bro.
What happened, Pete? What happened? You were so cool.
We used to chill all the time.
You were so cool before you were 40 and became an actor.
What's going on, Travis? This is Peter Dinklage. I love your show, and Santa the Shooter's fantastic. And I said, bro, it's cool, man. You can watch us anytime you want. time.
That's right. That's
So
right.
watch out for the mockers.
That's
man. They're
right.
gonna get you.
I think Peter Dinklage could be actually our biggest fan.
Okay, now there's another word we have to debate.
Okay.
So the word that this is my father has always pronounced. There's a certain kind of sauce you can put on steak. Worcestershire.
Worcestershire?
Oh,
Oh, do you mean Worcestershire sauce?
Worcestershire sauce, because every other shire I've ever heard in my life, from like Robin Hood or whatever, I've never heard it sheer. Worcestershire, I call it Worcestershire sauce. My buddy from Connecticut, he corrected me. I said we were eating steaks at his house, and he's like, "Hey, would you like some Worcestershire sauce?" He said, "You want some Worcestershire sauce?" And I go, "What is Worcestershire?" Worcestershire. He goes, "Here," and he handed me the bottle. I go, "This is Worcestershire." He's like, "No, it's Worcestershire." I'm like, "You don't pronounce it like that. Who pronounces it like that?"
Apparently everybody but you, huh?
I guess so. But when you think about Worcester, is it Rochestershire, New York?
Could be.
It's Rochester,
Could be.
Worcester.
Well, but if you think about it,
Shire.
like that area in London, I don't know London geography. I don't know if it's a
Oh,
suburb.
I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
suburb or just an area or whatever.
Yeah.
But Chiswick, Chiswick.
Oh, Chastwick.
No, Chiswick.
Chiswick.
Chiswick. Donna
That's
Noble on
Chiswick.
Doctor Who was from Chiswick.
Chiswick.
Chiswick. Chiswick.
Instead of Chiswick.
So,
Chiswick. Worcestershire.
I don't think that, well, I know for a fact that if you're from the UK, there are a ton of letters in your words that you don't even bother pronouncing, especially if it's an H.
Yes.
Like I haven't, I haven't been. We want,
the 412 West still?
we want
412 West.
for what? I don't know.
Do you
I thought you knew how to
bust
get
out
the
your-
412
bust
West.
out your-
No, it's fine. 412 West.
All right.
I'm just messing with you.
That's not cool. Next time. I'm the driver. You're the navigator. Remember?
telling ya.
I'm the pilot. You're the bombardier. You're the bombardier.
I'm the Bombardier.
Bombardier.
I'm a Canadian four-wheeler.
Bombardier snow machines. No, that's not Bombardier snow machines. How do Canadians say? It's
I don't
Bombardier
know.
snow machines.
I
eh?
don't know.
Bombardier.
I can't.
Man, I'm just.
The only Canadian
awful today.
accent that I can do is
How you doing?
I have to channel Rick Moranis
Yes.
and Dave Thomas from Strange
Strange
Brew.
brew.
Yeah. Hey, take off, you hoser, eh?
Hey, we got this rat in this bottle, eh? And if you don't give us some free beer, we're gonna have to sue you.
Yeah, eh?
We're gonna grab the change.
Yeah,
Grab the
I
change.
really don't, eh? I'd have to bend over.
Don't make me like stay here, eh?
Okay, hey, don't pull
We,
over, eh?
We got a toll road. We
I
gotta
don't know
bend the door.
I don't know if anybody has ever seen the movie Strange Brew, but if you haven't, you need to. You're welcome for that little tidbit. If you'll love it. So it's such an awesome movie and such a terrible movie at the same time.
It is. I've seen it a
For
couple
those
times.
of you that haven't seen Strange Brew and you haven't seen those old Molson commercials from the 90s where they reprised their roles, just think of the movie Brother Bear, the two moose that were always playing I Spy. And he's like, I'm not a bear. And the guy's like, well, gee, you're one big beaver. Okay, those two guys, that was Dave Thomas and Rick Moranis. And so, the whole movie of those two guys, they're brothers in this movie, and it was pretty cool. So, all right, there's 50 cents out of the ashtray.
Hey, look, guys, it's 50 Cent.
50 Cent. Curtis
50 Cent.
Jackson is in the hizzy.
I'm in the club, holding full of full. My mind got what you need,
Go
girl.
Travis,
What you need, girl.
it's your birthday.
It's on.
We gonna party like it's your birthday.
Everybody
Gonna
knows
sip
that
Bacardi
it's
like
like your
it's your
birthday.
birthday. And
Go,
you know that we
go,
don't give up
go,
radio
go,
edit
go,
because it's your
go,
birthday.
Go and bounce. All right. Okay, so you ready for this? You got the extra, you got the other coins?
No, I thought you had the cash.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to take out 10 quarters.
Well, I thought we were gonna do that and drive
Hello,
through
sir.
the one where we just chuck it in there. So my bad.
Let's see here. Here you go. Yes, we're going back down 412. Yep. Okay. Let's put that back. Put that back down there.
Why did I grab that tree?
No, I didn't know. Okay.
There's 3.
Okay. Thank you, sir. All right.
Good old toll booths here in
Yeah,
Oklahoma. Just
yeah.
driving down the highway.
So
And
where does all this cash go? Because I don't think it goes back into
It's
concrete.
clearly not going into the road.
No,
That's for
no. We gotta.
sure.
I mean, it's not been bad. This is no worse than driving in Nebraska.
Well,
This road is
that's
no worse
true.
than a lot of our highways, a lot of our expressways.
But Nebraska gets no casino money and no toll road money.
No, but our roads are. Well, can
So-
we say they're better than Oklahoma?
Well, I don't think that they're.
Oh.
I cannot say that
Oh.
Oklahoma's better than
I'm
Nebraska.
thinking Oklahoma has a lower gas tax. Looking at what we paid for a gallon of gas, We paid $2.21
Something.
for 87.
Well, that and the
10%
fact that
ethanol gas,
it
87
costs them
octane.
half as much to truck it up here because
Yeah, because you're in the
Because
middle
it's half
of
the
middle of
distance
66 country, basically.
half the distance from Louisiana. But
Well, and they got a lot of their own local petroleum production too. Their own
that's
oil
true.
production.
There's oil money also in Oklahoma. Where's that? Somebody pay for a dang road down here. You all have all this extra
I like it how
income.
we leave the toll road and it gets nicer.
That is
It's like we want you to
earlier
have good
when
memories.
we got
Have-
onto the turnpike. There was
Yeah.
a big sign that said "Turnpike maintenance begins," and that's when the road got
it
crappy.
got bad. We thought, oh, it's going to be nice. They made
Yeah, you'd expect it would be better, but no. All of a
thud.
sudden, we went
Yeah.
from what we have right now. Well, you saw how it was just a little bit ago, and hopefully you can see that it's smoothed up some.
Yeah, the phone's just a little poco jiggly there.
Yeah.
Poco jiggly.
Yeah, and I don't have a very stable car mount. It's just clipped onto the air vent.
Should we get back to now that we're done arguing about Worcestershire and Worcester?
Worcestershire?
We need to get back to the show. Let's talk about the arms show.
Well, let's talk more about towns in Nebraska first.
Okay, we can do this. All right.
You understand that I have the attention span of a guppy, and so I'm so easily distracted. If anything shiny happens, then I forgot what I was talking about. So
I'm from
there are other towns.
Yes.
There are other towns in Nebraska though that don't. There's a whole book from a Nebraska author that says you might be a Nebraskan if. And if you can
Skyler.
SCHUYLER Skyler.
But kids have that name. Girls have that name. I've seen girls and spelled that way.
True, but you'd be surprised how many people who aren't. They think it's Schuler, Schuyler. How do you say that?
Schuyler, Nebraska.
Schuyler, Nebraska. No,
Schuler. Skyler. Yeah.
It's a hard C. SC like school.
SCHUYLER.
Like school, not shul.
Skyler.
I don't go to shul.
go to
I'm not
Schuyler.
British, so I don't check my schedule.
Yeah, your schedule.
Actually, I do say schedule because it's fun.
Let me check
it's fun
my
to say.
It's right on schedule.
I'll check my schedule.
First time I ever heard that word was in whoever was the bad guy from.
The Living Daylights.
Remember, he's right on schedule. You
Yes,
remember that
The
part?
Living Daylights.
That was the first time I ever heard the
it
word.
was It was Walken.
Christopher Walken, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the first time I ever heard it pronounced like that.
I was just thinking that exactly.
He had a yellow hard
Perfect.
hat on.
Right on
glasses.
schedule.
They were in like a mine or something, or I
Yep.
don't know where they were. Yeah.
Yep, it was Walken.
I was like, why would I was like, did he screw up the script?
We're sure. I rewound it and watched it again. What did he just say? Right on what? Right on schedule.
Right on schedule. I'm like, what's
a schedule?
What's a schedule?
This guy doesn't know how to talk, but he played a German.
This is
So
true.
I thought it was a German thing for the longest time.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Turns out it was actually not just a German thing. I can't say it's just a British thing either.
No.
I've been out of the country one time in my life, and it was for my honeymoon to Jamaica, and
Yeah, man.
yeah, man.
Everything's Irish down here in Jamaica. We're just imitating everybody today, and it shows
Not
you,
very well.
It shows you the flexibility of the Midwestern. I call it the Great Plains dialect. Because when I think Midwestern,
well,
we're not in the middle part of the
people
West.
in
We're in the
Indiana
center.
think they're in the Midwest.
You're further east than we are.
I know. How can you be in the Midwest if you haven't even crossed the Mississippi yet?
You're Central Eastern.
Yes.
You know, we're Great Plains, Central U.S.
The
dialect.
Great Plains accent is
So
the
we
one.
can pretty much imitate, and not that an actor from anywhere can't. But
people from here are sought after to be news anchors.
Yes, because we can get that broadcast voice this evening going on. You know, I mean, look at that.
That's right.
That. I can also do you ever watch Gun Guy TV? You ever watch Gun Guy TV on eBay or on YouTube?
Wow.
You ever watch it?
The resemblance is
my
uncanny.
channel.
Are
It's
you
a great time over here on YouTube.
Are you sure that like that's not an overdub and you're just doing voice?
No, that's me actually doing Joel from Gun Guy. I love that guy's channel. He's the bomb. But I like to imitate some people on YouTube. I like to,
like John Z.
Everybody, this is John Z. How you doing?
The John Z Project on YouTube.
Are you looking
Watch
for
my
a place
videos.
to go? Come to gunchannels.com.
I tell you what, John Z was with us in Oklahoma.
Dude,
and
John Z is.
And I'm not saying that everybody else wasn't cool. And I'm not going to say that anybody was the coolest cat out of all of our group. But I tell you what, John, you are the bomb.com. And that voice would that John Z could talk you to sleep. And like just got that soothing.
He just needs to have a channel where he
voice. And I don't know, like I don't want to get into this too much, but I'm pretty sure if John Z is a player or used to be a player, and I don't know anything. It's none of my business.
He said that he don't want to be a player no more.
So I don't know what's happening. I'm pretty sure John Z has that kind of voice that he could just talk the undergarments right off of anybody. know what I'm saying? Like
G-rated, dude.
G-rated. I said undergarments.
Okay, good point. But he's got a very seductive silky
I don't
voice.
know John Z's marital status.
Very interested in some of the females that were walking around. He's like, I should go up to her and give him my number.
Yeah,
like,
but
dude,
that was not like that.
Yes.
That was like for networking.
Yes.
He was gonna do interviews.
Oh, okay. I thought he was seriously.
No. Roland.
Rolling. Keep rolling.
Ro-ro. If Matt was here, it'd be like, hey, Ro-ro.
Oh, it's rolling.
You want to mess with P226 Nut?
You don't want to mess with P226 Nut. You know why? Because he got mad. Yeah. So back on ya.
P226 Nut did it all for the Nookie. Yeah, for the Nookie.
For the Nookie. Ah, suck a milky cookie. We did it all for the 9 milli. For the 9 milli. That's my Fred Durst impersonation. I kind of made him into like a little person. What were we talking about before? I totally lost my train of thought before the toll road.
You know what?
Towns in Nebraska.
Towns in Nebraska like Schuyler or Kearney.
I want to spotlight David City, the town where I was born and where I grew up until I was 6 years old. The only town I've ever seen where you can just legally park in the middle of the road.
Oh, Clearwater
people just park. Oh, they do.
Center parking?
Yeah, you can absolutely wide brick streets.
Clearwater does that.
And it's painted off. You can park in the center and the sides of the road, which is nuts.
Yeah.
I've never experienced that really anywhere else.
Yeah, because when you're coming up to, you can also park diagonal in the center, and then vehicles will be facing either direction, parking diagonal in the center like that, and then you don't pull forward unless you got a tiny little car that can make that sharp turn. You just back out and go again. But yeah, center parking is used to be a lot more common in towns, and a lot of towns don't do it anymore. But Clearwater, Nebraska, the hometown of my wife, Mrs. Sandhills, they still do that. And I can remember, I'm sure they still are, but I can remember being a kid going to Newport, Nebraska. And those of you that know Newport, then you know Mill. And I remember Newport having center parking on Main Street there too. The main street that was one block, and there was like a post office on one side and a store on one side, and that was it. But it's still bigger than Mills. So that's cool. But yeah, center parking in David City, Clearwater doesn't have cobblestones though.
Oh,
bricks.
Okay.
It's
Seward has a brick downtown, which is pretty cool.
They did finally get running water here.
Yes,
last year.
They took the hitching posts out because they got this fancy thing called the automobile,
the horseless carriage,
the horseless buggy.
Now, having said that, Clearwater has one of the biggest and best rodeos in the state of Nebraska, and there are a lot of horses still in use. Now we make jokes. We're out in Nebraska, and a lot of people who aren't in Nebraska don't understand that we actually do have things like internet.
Yeah, I mean, Nebraska is hardcore cattle ranch,
but
horse country.
We don't all ride horses, but I grew up. I grew up riding a horse.
At least you've done it a few times.
Yeah, I grew up riding a horse to do things with cattle because that was the way of it. And now there's still a ton of things done with horses. Certain people, we won't name any names, my dad, have kind of gotten to where it's easier to go out and fire up a four-wheeler. Or a side-by-side, like what do they call those, UTV, like a Ranger?
Yeah, like a little two-seat. Dune, not really dune buggy,
like a Polaris Ranger, something like that.
Sometimes they call them mules, or they call them
Kawasaki Mule, a Gator.
Every company kind of has their own specific. Polaris makes one.
Yeah.
Look, you get yourself in a lot of trouble.
So my dad's got one of those now.
Yeah.
Because it's easier than hopping on a four-wheeler, or a quad, whatever you want to call it. But those are so much easier to catch and saddle up. All you do is jump on it and hit the starter. And so there are a lot of times that those are pushing out the use of a horse. Now, it depends on what you're doing, because we do have a lot of pasture ground up there on the home place. Like my avatar picture, that hill, for those of you that don't know, the top of that hill is owned by my dad. It's part of the Anderson Ranch up there. And so not all of the hill, but clear to the bottom, because it's a big hill, but the top part, the pointy part.
Do I want that?
You do want that. That will be your exit.
Okay, so 35 north.
35 north.
Probably should fire up maps on my phone.
Why?
Because going through Wichita, if you miss one,
you don't get off Wichita. You just stay.
Well, you have to stay on it. But
we're not going to Cabela's again, are we?
No, I always screw.
Okay.
And so I don't want that to happen. So I can get it on my phone.
Okay.
I'll just punch it. I'll punch it.
I got the orange phone too.
Punch it, you work or whatever. So
I got this one.
There's a left. If you don't catch it just right, you end up going back into Wichita. And you have to circle all the way back around and go back up. So it's kind of a pain in the butt. It's 55 right now.
Yeah,
the work zones. there's a lot of variety in the speed limits out here. It goes 75, 70. We're going 55 right now. 60, 65. It's kind of hard to kind of keep up with all of it because, and then there's a lot of minimum speed signs that'll pop up and stuff too. So, yeah, definitely wanted to keep an eye on things. A lot of road construction going on in this neck of the woods too. You can run
Okay,
into
so
that.
so you're just gonna take the normal merge exit off and just
In a
merge
quarter
on.
mile, take
Just
exit
the normal
1A
style?
for I-35
There
north
is
for
a
Wichita.
there is a cloverleaf up here. We started calling the cloverleaf it started out being a
It's just
tactical
blocked
cloverleaf. Well, okay, so don't listen to the maps. We've got road construction, so the signs are different. So we'll figure it out. We'll get you through this. Don't worry. I'll tell you.
Take exit
I'll tell you
1A.
where to go. Okay, thank you, Mabel. Be quiet.
1A is the exit we need to get on.
Yeah, the exit has been torn up. They're redoing this with the tactical
If we were in the
cloverleaf.
Jeep, we could just put it in 4 and just go down that road.
We really
you know,
could. The
'cause-
Tahoe would do that too.
Oh yeah, easy.
Okay, so we
Got you
want
here.
to do
So we need 30. We need 35 north. There's the signs right there.
yeah.
There's south area. There's south and east.
Okay, so north, go that way too.
Go back.
Yep,
This
take it,
guy?
take it. It says take it.
Okay. Oh, so, okay, yeah.
We might have to do this a couple times.
Yeah, this is kind of funky.
Well,
We have a soundtrack?
we don't sound like a soundtrack, right? No, that's my ringtone. This is a phone call.
I was
from-
like, man, this is awesome. I
yeah,
got
no,
my- it's
Mr.
like a minute.
Sandhills is on the phone, so hold on.
All right.
Hello, my darling.
North.
You know what? We're live, so let me text that to you.
T2 or 35.
We're gonna clover tack this around 3 times. We're live right now, so we started calling these the tactical clover leafs, and then we just changed them to a clover tack. So whenever you do a clover leaf in an interchange, we're just gonna call it. We're taking a clover tack around this thing now. Hey, there's that porta potty again.
Hey, is that the same one?
Remember we saw that guy that was doing the same thing when we got on this road?
Yes. This was nuts.
Well, that's what he was
Yeah.
doing. He's like, he came around and then he came around again. Well, that's what we're gonna have to do.
So 35.
Okay,
north,
I'll text it to you. I love you. Okay, bye.
So this one right here.
My wife's at work. She can't be listening to me do
Oh, no, it's
overtax all
good.
day.
It's all good.
We're doing some changing of banking stuff. She needs my social security number. How about I just yell that out on the internet? It's 12. It's 12.
Hey,
Those
just
of you
for
that
the
want my
record-
social security number, it's 12.
Those of us that went to Nebraska public colleges in the 90s, your student ID number
Yes.
was your social security number. So you'd be
Yes.
like 507 blah 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 blah. You just like, okay, they'd holler it out because that's like your next in line. I need this number.
Yeah.
Because at a huge university, you're not a human being. You're a number. you're a bank account. I mean, not to rip on UNL's a great school. I really enjoyed it, and it was worth what I spent, what I got out of it. But you're basically back then your student ID number was your social security number. So, I'm surprised I even have an identity even more that it hasn't been taken with the sure number. Of course, back then none of that stuff was really even online because there really was no real major internet connection in our neck of the woods that you could use. Imagine life without the internet. That's crazy thoughts right there, dude. Very crazy thoughts.
My life before 1997.
Yeah. Life without the internet, man.
My life before the fall of 97. I didn't have internet until I went to college.
Oh, we had hardly. They had a game on the. No, they had a thing called Foothills, which was like a chat room that I remember on the Mac that you could get into to talk to people, and then they had. I remember playing this, but that was more of a first-person walking game. It's like you just walk around in a little virtual environment. My buddies and I used to play a video game called Command HQ. We would play against each other, and the phone modem would tie up the phone line when you were online playing against each other. And I didn't even realize it was kind of like a little primitive lobby. So yeah, it was fun. 95 miles of Wichita, homie.
I can remember at one point having a phone, because everybody still had a landline. I didn't have a cell phone.
Yeah.
So I had a phone line, and then for like an extra $10 a month, we could have a second phone line. And so that was nice because I had one for the internet, and then people could still call me.
Yep. I had my own phone line too. Yeah, actually I did because that way I wouldn't occupy the home phone. I had my own phone line growing up as a kid. And
It's
I think my parents took it out of my paycheck.
time for another nip off the old jug of hooch here.
Yeah.
Tabletop
Mountain
review.
Dew.
Yep, tabletop
Oh!
review of some Mountain Dew. Those of you, look at that glare. Those of you that have never had Mountain Dew, I'm sorry, you're
The
missing out.
ingredients are artificial flavor, sugar, and love.
Yes.
That's what goes into every can and every
And-
bottle of Mountain Dew.
And unicorns and rainbows. And
That's what you see if you drink enough of this.
and hugs. It's a bottle of hugs.
It is. It's like liquid hugs.
And did you ever, when you were a kid, did your mom ever, like, when you got out of the bathtub, did mom ever have the towel that came right out of the dryer? Like, she warmed your towel up in the dryer and wrapped you up in that warm, fluffy towel right out of the bathtub?
Yeah.
Yes. They bottled that feeling.
Yes.
And I'm drinking that right now.
There's a movie called Brain Candy with the kids in the hall, and there's an expression in it I love to use. It's 72 degrees in my mind all the time.
Wow.
That's it. That's
Wow.
how this makes you feel. It might be like right now it's 51 degrees outside, 72.
That's right.
72 degrees all the time.
That's right.
It even has an ingredient in it, brominated vegetable oil.
That's right.
Which makes it not legal for sale in Europe. Certain countries in Europe won't sell products with it. And the funny part is
It's like we can't buy actual absinthe, and they can't buy actual Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how we'll let you take some things that will hallucinogenically mess up your brain.
We have our own green fairy.
And yet our life expectancy is about within 6 months of each other.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
which is kind of unusual.
So that's because violent crime is on the rise in Europe. And
I was thinking more of like differences in diet and living. It's like in general, we have much maybe unhealthier food, more high fructose, more higher fat content.
now
foods.
I did have a video out earlier today about a headline in a gun confiscation attempt in Massachusetts. However, on the up and up, I did read a headline today about a foiled attack. The authorities did prevent an attack in Berlin, and this is real, a half marathon in Berlin, and there were people planning on attacking people at that half marathon with knives, and the authorities got wind of it and stopped it before it began. But knives, you don't need a gun to cause mass killing or violent crime. So, okay, let's go back to the Wanamaker show now.
Yeah.
Because Travis and I were talking, and I wish I had some hard data on numbers, because we were trying to extrapolate some numbers and just figure out some averages and stuff last night.
Yeah.
Because there were over 4,000 tables at this gun show on 11 acres of concrete.
11, if you put all the tables together, supposedly would stretch out to 5.7 miles of tables. If you put them end to end.
Of 8-foot tables.
If you put them end to end, that's what you could walk. So you have roughly 12 seconds per table if you want to visit every table in these 15 hours, 14 hours that the show was going to be.
Now, those of you that have been to a gun show, you understand that you're going to walk past a lot of tables and not stop anyway. If you've never been to a gun show, have you been to like a flea market or something like that? You're walking up and down a row of table. You don't stop at every one. You look, as you're walking by, there's nothing that catches my interest to make me stop at this table. I'll go to the next one. So it's kind of like that. I mean, it's basically just a big swap meet with guns and stuff. And of course, the whatever laws apply, what we can and can't do with such a thing. But the great thing about the Wanamaker, the Tulsa Arms Show here, is that they intentionally keep it firearm related. Like so many gun shows are turning into a place to trade gun digests or
surplus gear.
Milsurp memorabilia and canteens and helmets and stuff. Now those are cool. Don't get me wrong, and there's a lot of that stuff here at the show. But 90% minimum at the Tulsa Arms Show at Wanamaker, 90% of the tables at least have guns or gun-related memorabilia or parts, gun parts, whether it's Milsurp parts or like several places, companies machine their own AR uppers. Like what was the Harden Arms, I believe that you were looking at?
Harden Arms.
HARDEN.
Hardened,
like a hardened
battle.
like hardened steel.
Hardened.
Okay, my bad. I thought it was like a name, HRDEN.
Yeah, hardened.
So it's a past tense verb.
I call it hardened arms. The D is a little short on the end, but
it's a verb in the past tense.
Yeah.
Today I hardened. Yesterday I hardened.
Like you're a hardened warrior. You're
hardened
from the battle.
Okay, gotcha. My bad. So anyway, check those guys out because I didn't know anything about them, but Travis was aware of them and was familiar with them, and their stuff looks solid. Not that I know anything
Okay.
about ARs.
Suggestion: if you're looking for an AR upper, it's cool to just go to PSA, or it's cool to go to, say, Classic and just look and see what's for sale. But just do a search on fully assembled uppers on Google, and you'll be amazed at how many other companies actually pop out, other than Noveske, other than Bravo Company, other than PSA. I wanted to go
Other
down the
than
list.
Anderson.
I wanted to find somebody, other than Arrow or Anderson. I wanted to find a company that was just something different, that had a good reputation, that was fully based out of America, out of the United States, that really took some pride in the work that they do. And I stumbled upon Hardened Arms. Okay, small company. They probably don't do nearly the volume of PSA, but they do sell. There's about a 4 to 6 week wait, but you can custom order whatever you want for your upper. You can specify the barrel length up to 24 inches. You specify the rate of twist, the material, the coating. Now they have pre-assembled uppers with or without bolt carrier groups. Whatever length you want, 7.5 inches up to 24 inches. Whatever type of rail you want. I think all their rails were like the Keymonts or M-Lock. I don't think I saw any. Did they have any standard
No, they
furniture
had a
rails?
lot of Picatinis on there.
Okay. Well, yeah, but I'm thinking, like, were there any just standard carbine handguards that you saw on their stuff? It seems like everything they did was a Picatinny rail style
was
foregrip or whatever.
Yes.
Handguard.
Yeah.
And their prices basically are directly in line with PSA. $15 shipping on an upper, and what the guys say about the upper?
Well,
Yeah.
it costs him $35 to ship these. He charges you $15.
Yeah.
So give him some love and give him some business, because he said, and he wasn't complaining. He just kind of made an off the cuff joke, but I think it was true. He said, when he was getting started, some months UPS made more than he did.
Yeah, because he's
shipping
paying
the stuff out
in order to keep the shipping prices low. Because I'll tell you, if you ever pay,
he's eating $20
Yep.
per upper.
if you ever do look at PSA's prices on shipping, they're $27 on an upper to ship it. And they're just sending you a box with some foam in it. You're up.
And you know good and well that UPS is giving them a better rate because of how many things they ship
Yeah,
than what he's getting.
27, 30. It's the same, and it's the same. I think it's the same for the lowers too. I think the lowers can be $25, $27, maybe like $12.50 on a bulk carrier group. But that's why I check those guys out. Yeah, you might pay $10 or $15 more than PSA for the exact same upper, but you're going to save on shipping $15 or $20.
Well, and they're nice people.
Yeah,
And I was impressed that, okay, so
they took a lot of time and were very patient with us.
they did. They answered
Yeah.
all the questions. They know what they're talking about. It's a husband and wife, I believe. Anyway, I assumed they were a couple. I go assume
They were small. Yeah, they're a smaller company.
But he makes this stuff himself, and I think she helps.
They get the blanks to make the barrels in.
They make they don't
Yeah,
buy
yeah.
any parts. They make their own. Every part of that completed upper, they built it.
I'd have to check the barrel.
I don't know about
They
the
might cold
PCB.
hammer. They might cold hammer forge the barrels too. I don't know if they do or not.
But yeah,
Yeah.
they machine their own upper. They machine their own handguards. They're not assemblers. They are
They're
manufacturers.
manufactured. Yeah.
And
straight up.
all it was. I mean, I don't know much about ARs, but I know quality. Just what's solid and what feels chintzy. And this stuff, I mean, I picked it up and it was the real deal.
Granted, it's show material, but I think I'm going to buy from those guys, and when I get it, I'm going to go through and take it apart and
But-
show it off and cleat it.
But
and
the guy knows
Yeah.
what he's doing. He knows machining.
He knows-
He knows shooting. She knows calibers. She knows. I mean, and it was nice to be able to talk to the people that actually do it versus, well, there's a guy back in Washington State that actually makes this stuff, and I'm just here to say, like, this is their company. This is their baby that they're promoting. So that was nice to be able to talk to the people that actually build this stuff, and sell it and do everything. It's kind of a, like I said, I don't want to say mom and pop in the sense that they're not big time, but it was. Well, I don't know if those films or not. The counter's still going. I think we're good. I think we're maybe.
just about back into reception range here.
Yeah, we're getting kind of through a
I
desolate
seriously think
region.
I'm going to go through them just to try a different company for once.
We should go there.
Oh, dude.
I wish we had time to stop at every one of these. On
I
the way home.
know. There's a couple of huge gun stores on the way.
Vortex Benchmade and a 686. I mean, come on. What else do you want on your sign? That's going to get me there.
A 44 mag revolver Benchmade in Vortex. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, guys, if this is going through, we're gonna let this get a strong signal, and then we'll come back. And then
It should have a strong signal.
I know.
I don't know what
Say,
flash
now
it
it's
is.
heat.
Technology's great when it works.
Unicorns.
Oh, yes.
Happiness in a can right there. Water.
With that warm, fuzzy towel.
Man.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know if my buddy Adam made this Mountain Dew. This Mountain Dew came out of Tulsa. I got a buddy that makes Mountain Dew. Well, he doesn't make it, but he puts it in cans.
Like at the factory?
In Norfolk, at the bottling plant.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't make the Mountain Dew, but he makes it portable.
Okay.
He puts it in cans or bottles for me. And or Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, a lot of things he makes in that plant. And you just, the line that he's on, I think, is cans.
Okay.
And so, they'll make whatever they say that they need to make on a given night. So that's pretty cool.
It is very cool, man.
And you know how many free 12 packs of Mountain Dew I've gotten from him over the years? None. Not one. You know how
and that's about as bad as Matt not getting a Taurus or that finished AR lower.
No kidding. I should talk to Mountain Dew and say, hey, I will drink a Mountain Dew in every video if you just supply me with it.
Should we back out, maybe start it over, or if it's,
I don't know.
Start part 3. We're gonna stop at Wichita anyway. We'll top off and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let that run through there. So
yeah.
Tabletop review the
McDonald's.
I don't know about
inside, but we went through the drive-through and the truck stop is really nice there.
Okay.
They got a really nice truck. It's just on the toll road. It'd be a nice stop place, pick up some lunch. If you're cool with Mickey D's, we can get you something.
I don't care, man.
All right.
I'm cool with
Mickey D's.
I can find something on any menu.
There you go. Heck yeah, man.
I love that logo that was on that billboard back there, the KFC logo, which is just Colonel Sanders' face and his string tie.
Yeah.
Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. That looks like a little stickman body with his head on it.
It does. I never thought of that. I always thought it was a sweet looking bolo tie.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's a string tie. But you can't unsee that being a little stick figure with the Colonel Sanders head on it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Check on your other phone and see if it's live streaming. Click on channel.
Oh,
see if it's playing, then we know we can just keep talking.
I can double live stream.
I want to talk more about Hardened Arms.
I want to talk more about the fact that this may paint me as a sexist, but it was just refreshing to have the lady know
she wasn't a gun bunny. She was knowledgeable.
Yeah, a gun bunny. That's a good word.
Just a gun bunny.
There were a lot of gun bunnies in various booths.
Just there to advertise.
Were there to wear their low cut tops with their silicone augmented chest areas, sternums. Yeah, I'd never seen that at a gun show before either. But no, this lady knows more about guns than I do. Definitely more about ARs than I do. Not that that's much. It doesn't take. You don't have to know much about ARs no more than I do.
What drives me nuts when I watch SHOT Show coverage is when they have a gun bunny handling the firearm properly, but then can't really explain, or she's going off a list of like 5 things she was told to say about the gun, and it's. I would rather have a knowledgeable individual that's going to tell me about why I should buy the product instead of eye candy that's going to make me realize now I got to do more research on the product myself because you don't know anything about it, even though you're paid by the company to be there. And I understand that sort of thing sells, but maybe I'm just being a little salty here. But I watch gun videos to learn about firearms. I mean, I'm not. It's like if I'm going to spend my time and watch a video, I want to make sure it's worth my time, right? I've had people watch my videos and say, I want that 5 minutes of my life back. Okay, I'm sorry, I try not to beat around the bush too much in my videos. Sometimes I'll talk for a minute or two before we go to the range footage. But I usually just explain what ammo I used. Is it running live?
Yeah, we're still going.
All right, so
I've got this little spinning circle on my screen. We're not sure if you can hear us or not, but I think you can.
I'm gonna spin it too.
Well,
I'll just say this. Maybe this will catch up with it. Hardened Arms does sell 5.56, 300 blackout, 762 by 39, 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, and then I get lost in the 6.8, 6.5 or 6 SPC. There's a lot. They're waiting on 224 Valkyrie. The philosophy of the guns, the head machinist is that 6.5 Creedmoor can get you out to 1,000 with more stability than 5.56.
Well, and the thing
So-
is, he's not a
Or the-
huge
yeah.
manufacturing company, so it's not like he's gonna up and
Yeah,
if to be worth retooling and setting up for a new caliber,
yeah.
he's gotta be able to build 1,000 of them to make it pay.
Didn't you say at
And-
minimum they have to buy 400 blanks at a time?
Yeah, something like
So
that.
they have to designate
In
400
order to be
barrels.
worth coming up
Yeah.
with a new caliber, or chambering for a new caliber that he isn't already doing, he has to be able to build 1,000 of them and sell 1,000 of them to make it work.
Yeah.
And when any new caliber that pops up, like they've got to be careful. Like, is it a fad or is it something that's actually gonna get traction and be around for a long time? Because
Yep.
if it's a flash in the pan, then he's wasted all this money to build all these barrels that now he's never gonna sell.
But the only thing I would say is 224 Valkyrie is so hot right now. It's so hot right now. In the words of the guy from Zoolander,
Yeah.
the bad
Yeah,
guy from Zoolander.
But you keep saying right now.
Yeah, so he could
Will
maybe
it be so hot?
get
10
one
years
out there
from
and sell 200 to 400 because
That's
they
true.
can get in
That's
under
true.
$500 for a complete upper. Right now, PSA's $499 for a 224 Valkyrie complete upper.
That's true.
If they could undercut that by $100 or $50, do it for $399 or $429, a lot of people would go there because guys shoot 22-24 Valkyrie because they want a round that's going to go out to 1,200 yards and they want to do it on a budget.
Right.
And 224 Valkyrie is dirt cheap in my opinion. 20 round
well,
ball
and-
ammo
and
box.
224 Valkyrie wasn't
$13,
Wasn't that the
$12.
caliber that Tim from Military Arms Channel went out
Yeah.
and filmed a deer hunt?
Yeah, he was chronic. He used it for his
Like he took one out.
Yeah.
Before anybody could buy one, they let Mac have one to test. He took it on a deer
Yeah.
hunt, and oh my gosh,
they test fired and he shot it pretty well
that
too.
224 Valkyrie just
Yeah.
anchored that deer. And this was not like a little Texas deer that looks like a big dog with huge antlers because it got fed minerals.
Yeah.
This was like an Indiana deer.
Yeah.
So a Midwest deer, we grow them big in the Midwest and the
Oh,
Great
yeah.
Plains states because
Well,
we don't hunt dogs.
We joke that they eat the corn that falls off the truck at the intersection.
That's true. No,
And then they go
that's
out and graze in the fields,
That is true.
you know,
These
they
are
do a lot
corn-fed
of-
deer because there is corn in the fields,
Yeah.
and so yes, the corn-fed deer. That's kind of nice, and they're yummy.
Oh, yes.
Those of you that prefer grass-fed beef, I mean, I love you that you're eating beef because you're keeping my dad in business. But give me corn-fed beef any day. I know, and I'm not here to get into a chat about ethics, but
Well, I mean, I think that,
fatten them up on corn and the steak
and
of
you
the
know,
town.
cows have rights. I mean, cows have a right to be a sirloin. Cows have a right to be a ribeye.
I know.
Cows have a right.
Here's how I feel.
All right.
That there's room for all of God's creatures, and I'm all about all of God's creatures, and the best place for them, I believe, is next to the mashed potatoes.
And for those of you that say, well, those animals suffered, not really.
No.
They are put out immediately, lights out.
They are euthanized.
If you've ever seen No Country for Old Men, the
Yes.
little air gun, that's the cow. Usually the first hit from the air gun to the head kills the cow immediately. I used to work at a beef packing
It goes
plant.
straight into the brain and it disconnects.
The cow dies
Lights down.
instantly. It's lights out for the cow. It doesn't suffer.
They don't feel a thing.
Yeah, they don't sit there and torture it or whatever. They don't. They just put it down.
Yep.
Once in a great while, they would have a rowdy cow that would bust. They've had two, I think, maybe that I've heard of that have busted out of the gate, and they've had to put it down with the .22 rifle because that's the only way they could stop it quickly. They have had to use it before.
But that's just to
In the
save.
plant.
That's to keep the workers safe.
Yes, they have to. They don't have a choice. You got to realize we're talking about a plant that can run 350 head an hour. That's what they're running. 275, 300.
And if you're from a place where there aren't cows, or you've only seen them from a distance, we're talking about a 1,000-pound animal or
Yeah.
1,000-pound plus animal.
Yeah.
This isn't like trying to wrestle something the size of a pit bull.
And
This is something that you could get on and ride.
yeah.
If you could figure out how to get on it.
They'll spend what? How long does it take the average cow before it's going to be processed? From birth until processing, what's the time frame? What are you thinking?
Between a year and 2 years.
Okay, so I mean the cattle they go outside and graze. They have relatively stress-free life. They move from pasture to pasture. and then they're in a feedlot for a week.
And the thing is, they receive the best medical attention because that is a crop. They're not. I mean, they're kept from getting sick. They're kept from getting. They're protected from the elements. And yes, they live their lives outdoors, but they're animals, and God built them to live outdoors. But ranchers have things like what we call a shelter belt. It's a grove of trees, normally cedars, some sort of evergreen tree that you plant enough of them close together, and it will stop the wind, so that you have a place to feed these cows where it's the air temp is cold, but they're out of the wind. If a calf is born and it's super super cold, every rancher and everybody who knows ranching understands the concept of having a calf in the house on the back porch, keeping him warm.
That calf is the livelihood of the rancher. That is that rancher's source of income.
I guarantee that rancher looks at that calf in so many different things, because yes, he is a dollar sign, but he is a baby. And that is that rancher's baby. And yes, he's raising him to go to town and go off to be, become a lot of different yummy things, or your Wells Lamont gloves, or your Red Wing work boots, or whatever. But
your Birkenstocks, your leather interior, and your Prius.
But I digress.
But I'm just saying, people that are against beef and cattle and red meat, look at what you're wearing and look at what you're sitting on.
And it's not like we're killing them and cutting the meat off and throwing the rest away.
No, the entire cow is basically used. What do they do with the spine and the brain?
I don't know about the brain, but the bones get ground up and made into bone meal, and it goes into like chicken feed, things like that.
Jello.
Well, that's hooves and horns.
Yeah.
Hooves and horns are gelatin, and I'm sorry if I just ruined your Jello, but yes, that does come from animal products.
Don't they use cells or marrow for medical research?
Sometimes, and the blood is used for blood meal.
The tongue is popular in Latin America.
The tongue is a delicacy. It is sold as meat.
Lengua tacos are good. I've had them at authentic Mexican restaurants before, and it's like carne asada.
Well,
I've
heard tongue meat is really good. I don't know how to make it, so
you cook it they cook around on a flat iron grill and just chop it up and dice it up and then throw it in a tortilla.
I have no idea.
And the funny thing is that there was 30 years ago, you couldn't give that away. Beef tongue was just $1.50 a pound. Now it's consumed in mass and it's exported because it's become so popular with the influx of a Hispanic population in the United States of America and an ever-present population of Hispanic people.
Yeah,
there's a constant
and
demand
not just in the border states.
No, yes, that's
the towns where Travis and I live both have a large Hispanic population.
Yeah.
So
tongue is used quite a bit. I mean, there's all the meats used. The internals are used.
It's funny. Last night, some of the other cycle camp and some of those guys were going to go to have their supper last night at a Mexican restaurant, and they said, "Do you want to go with us?" And Travis is like, "No, thank you. With all due respect, to be in Tulsa and go to a Mexican restaurant when I have all these other options." Travis is like, in my town of 5,000 people, 10,000 people. He's got at least a dozen authentic Mexican restaurants in town.
Or Central American.
And we're talking not like Mexican restaurant like
no Taco Bueno. No Taco Bueno.
Yeah, no Taco Bueno, no Taco Bell.
We have a Taco John's, but that's like the McDonald's of Mexican food.
It is.
So
and we're talking authentic.
You sit down
Mexican. That's like saying
handmade tortillas.
That's like saying
and all the salsas are made from scratch.
I like Italian food, so I'm going to Olive Garden. No.
Yeah.
I like Italian food, so I'm going to Mario's, or something that's just, it's not a chain, it's just
mom and pop.
Grandpa
was from Sicily.
A short fat Italian couple owns it.
Yeah.
And they've got they were born in the States, but Grandma was from the old country, and they got the same recipes. Yeah. That kind of authentic Italian food. Now think of that in Travis's dozen authentic Mexican or Latin American restaurants. So why go to that?
Taco Bueno.
Yeah, no Taco Bueno for him when he's got Bueno tacos.
Yeah, it's usually they're usually named after families. The restaurants are.
Yeah, Travis is like, I'm not going to Taco Bueno because I can go home and get tacos buenos for real.
Right? Exactly.
That's right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not going to Good Taco when I can go home and get good tacos.
A problem you're going to run into with a lot of people that have grown up on fast food Mexican is that it's heavy on the sour cream and the cheddar cheese and the salsas.
Yeah.
Authentic Mexican tacos are a couple tortillas, corn tortillas, usually heated on a griddle. carne asada, steak meat, cilantro, onion, and some crumbled cotija cheese. And a lot of people say, oh, it's so bland, but it's the richness of the meat that when they cook it, it's
Well, that's just it.
the homemade salsas that you put on it, the real light, different peppers that are used in it.
I'm not a fan of spicy food. I didn't grow up in a house where we had spicy food, and in my mouth and my stomach don't like it. So to eat like Taco Bell, there's nothing in Taco Bell that is mild enough.
I didn't even realize you could get jalapenos there.
Well, but
I had no idea.
The mild Taco Bell stuff
is too heavy for you?
is too spicy for me.
Are you kidding me? I
No,
didn't know that.
no. People think, and I'll admit to it. When it comes to spicy, I'm a wimp. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I like what I like though, but I don't go to Taco Bell because there's nothing in there that I can eat and be
Must be kind
comfortable
of like
after.
the cumin, like what you get like enchilada sauce, that smoky flavor.
Something. I
That
don't
might
know.
cause some acid reflux or something.
It's just the I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like authentic Mexican food I can eat.
Well, because it doesn't have to have the
loaded
salsa.
down. Yeah,
No.
it's not loaded down with jalapeno and stuff like that.
Even the seasoning is pretty mild, depending on. I mean, most of your meats and stuff just have a mild seasoning that go on, and then your chiles are going to get added later,
yeah.
unless it's something cooked with it, which typically it's more of a topping than anything. But,
Right,
yeah.
and I'm learning. I avoided Mexican restaurants for the longest time because I didn't know what anything was.
Everything always had jalapeno stuff in it.
And at the same
yeah.
time, like I didn't know how to order it. Like I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know how to tell them to leave this off or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I just never. Now I'm learning, and I'm finding the stuff that I like.
Yeah.
We've got.
Tamales are really good. I love homemade tamales. There's different types.
I've had tamales. Yeah.
You gotta. A lot of people don't like the texture. They're not always. There's Central American tamales, and then there's your Mexican and Southern American USA tamales. Like I'm thinking of Tex-Mex style.
Mm-hmm.
You got your corn tortillas, your corn husk outside, usually some sort of a roasted pork inside with some sort of a chili sauce. But there's a billion ways you can make tamales, but the Central American ones, they use a plantain banana leaf, and they're much mushier, I guess. They're not as dry as the traditional Mexican tamale.
Okay.
And so a Central American tamale, for somebody who's never had, a lot of times it's the whole meat chunk that's put in the tamal with the bone. The tamal, by the way, is a singular word for tamale. A tamale is more of the English, but the tamal is a single tamale. Right?
Okay.
Tamales or tamale.
Okay. Cool.
But anyway, it's the Central American ones
Just
are
had
more.
to make this a food chat.
Well, yeah, exactly. The Central American ones are have more of a earthy taste to, more of a green taste to, because that plantain leaf kind of soaks in. So they're bigger too. They're huge, man.
So just in case Matt ends up watching this, what kind of sprinkles go best on a tamal?
That's war. That's a declaration of war right there. Dude, I don't do sprinkles. I've never been a big fan of. They are crunchy, hard ants, salt ants. Matt basically said it best.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of sprinkles either, but I do like teasing Matt because never enough sprinkles.
Yep, exactly.
And plus, now that I've met the guy and hung out with him, I mean, I'm pretty sure if he is listening to this, or if he gets wind of it, I'm gonna get a middle finger salute or a golf foxtrot Yankee or something like that. So
how about the sprinkles on the donuts that got left at the table, the Gun Channel's table? We had a table at Wanamaker, by the way.
Isn't it funny how we had, who was it, Cycle Camp? Somebody brought in 2 boxes of Krispy Kremes on Saturday morning.
Donuts.
So we all got donuts at our table.
The one box, every single donut had sprinkles on it in one of the boxes.
Well, not every one.
I think it was the one on top.
One box had
right.
There were like a dozen donuts in each box, and one box had at least a half a dozen donuts with sprinkles. And the funny thing is, those were the last donuts. I think they got pitched, some of them, because they sat so long they weren't any good. They dried out.
I didn't even have time to go eat one. I wanted one
those,
so bad. Yeah.
Like every donut that didn't have sprinkles got eaten first. So as much as we were giving Matt crap about sprinkles, none of us wanted to eat them. They were cake donuts with sprinkles, and that's like 2 strikes right there.
Now let's talk about Delight donuts, because everybody thinks that
not Daylight.
Krispy Kreme is the bomb. Now, in Nebraska, we have a Daylight Donuts and we have a Delight Donuts.
Now, I would say that Krispy Kreme is the bomb if you're talking about
right off the line.
Big chains.
If you get them right off the line in the bakeries,
yes,
you go in and get them right off the line. They're just like liquid butter,
when there's
liquid sugar.
When they're still warm, not that they've been warmed up again, but when they're still warm.
Yep.
Still warm from being made.
Yeah. Those are good, but if you want nice, big donuts, heavy donuts, you can just dunk in milk.
Yeah,
you want a twist that's like a foot long.
Yeah, because there's always the debate: Krispy Kreme versus Dunkin' Donuts or something like that.
And even Dunkin' are a little bit bigger.
They're okay.
Krispy Kremes are tiny. They really are a small donut.
But those
Yeah.
are both good.
Yeah.
But when you get to
Yeah.
Nebraska, and I don't know how many locations they have. I know that the way I understand it, the fellow that I know in Norfolk is the owner and owns the Kearney store, Lexington.
Yep.
But we're not talking about Daylight donuts, because you see those all over the place too still. No, these are Delight, D-E-L-I-G-H-T, Delight donuts, and it's cool because they typically bought an old restaurant that was closed.
Yep.
Like in my town, there used to be a Long John Silver's, closed a long time ago. That Long John Silver's building is the Delight Donuts. In Lexington, it was
Amigos, which is like a fast food Taco Bueno.
Yeah, another Taco John's, Taco Bell.
It's like Taco Bell style chain.
Yeah. The food is different, but it's still just a chain of fast food.
They try to be authentic on some of the items, but they're about 80% there.
Again, your Taco John's,
they're about 80% lower.
Your Taco John's, your Taco Bell, your Amigos. That's your McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's of the Mexican food.
Yes.
Like you can argue which one's better, but they're still not a sit down restaurant burger. They're not.
Yeah.
Not a Fuddruckers or some Cheddars. We'll get there. We'll get there. But so now Delight Donuts. If you get a chance to have a Delight donut, first of all, your normal Krispy Kreme is going to be about this big around on the outside, and about that thick. Not too terribly thick, but a normal donut size. A Delight donut is going to be this big around,
3 times bigger,
and like big enough that I don't think I could put my fingers and thumb around it.
No,
it's going to have space.
Yeah.
And then they're like that big around, like
puffy. Sean Puffy cones this thick.
The diameter of the Delight donut is like a golf ball.
Yeah.
Like if it was a tube, you could roll a golf ball through it. That big. So.
Yep.
I'm not. But they say the camera adds 10 pounds. That doesn't really account for the other 300 that I can see.
Oh man.
But so anyway, I can eat 2 or 3 Krispy Kreme donuts in a sitting.
Oh yeah, the only thing that stops you is the sugar. Eventually, you're just like, oh
yeah, that's true. Eventually, my body just says no.
My mind is telling me yes.
There ain't nothing wrong with a little powdered sugar.
A little powdered sugar on the side.
So I eat one Delight donut.
That was awesome.
And I can't eat another one. One.
Yeah, like
when the fat kid can only eat one.
The apple fritter. It's like you could divide it into 4 quarters.
The strawberry bear claws.
Oh, the apple fritters are just like this, just big.
Oh my gosh, the apple fritters are like a plate.
They're full of like apple pie filling. I mean,
like if you don't know what an apple fritter is, I feel sorry for you.
Fried apple filling with dough and cinnamon.
But a normal apple fritter
fried.
is going to be like this big around, and then a Delight apple fritter.
You could break it into 4 pieces and eat 1 piece per day and walk away completely happy.
That's actually true.
If you do one in one sitting with like a thing of milk, you feel good for about 15 minutes and you're like, oh, why did I just do that?
I don't know. Yeah. If you do that, if you eat the whole apple fritter in one sitting, you're going to be like, I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
You ate it, Ralph.
Yep, it will do it to you. Yeah.
Hey, we got to get our ticket. Are we back to Kansas?
I think it's...
Is this the state line? Okay, are we on line?
Looks like we're fine.
Okay,
we get a reception back. All right.
Oh, that's a lie. And then Rupan said something about... Oh, Rupan says...
Sunlight!
Dunkin' Donuts quality went downhill since the late 90s.
Yeah, because they quit making them in-house.
Because for one thing, because Kim Lim started up Delight Donuts and ran them out of business. That's why.
Well, I do like the Munchkins. Those are the donut holes from Dunkin' Donuts. The Munchkins, they're just donut holes, but they have like 10 different flavors of them.
The donut holes from Delight?
Of course. Oh, I eat them all the time.
The donut holes from Delight are the size of a golf ball.
They are, but the Munchkins are cake donut. They're a cake donut hole, and so they have chocolate, raspberry, plain cake. Well, I mean, there's different varieties.
Cake donuts are okay.
Jelly filled.
Breaking YouTube.
I can't help it. I didn't even upload anything today. That's what the problem is. Yeah, man, rocking and rolling, baby. So we're back. So we're having a donut discussion today, talking about you need to go hit the mom and pop places when you go somewhere. Just type in donut. Another one, we got to talk about Hertz Donuts. You ever had Hertz Donuts in Lincoln? They're in Lincoln. They're all over. They're kind of in the central part of the country. Are you familiar?
Hurts, don't it?
Ow! Yes, it does. I wasn't. You looked at me like you're going to say yes. I no. But you ever gone? Have you guys gone there?
No.
Oh, Hertz Donut. Okay, Hertz
There
Donuts.
really is. It's not just hey, you ever had a Hertz donut? Bam,
Bam.
Hertz donut.
Yeah, no,
it's a legit store.
they're huge. They're even bigger than Delight.
No, I have not actually had a Hertz donut.
Okay, they have it in Lincoln right next to campus. They're open 24/7.
Okay.
They're awesome. Look them up online. They're huge. They have funky flavors. They have the donuts are giant. One donut, man, you got to break it up over 2 days.
HERTZ, just like the rent-a-car?
No, HURT. Hurt Donuts.
Oh.
Hertz, HURTS.
Hertz.
HURT''S. Hertz
Okay.
Donuts.
I see. I don't.
And they're in like they're in the Dallas area. There's one like in maybe Garland or McKinney or something like that. But you eat one, like they're known for like having like Oreo donuts and Andy's Mint donuts and
Oh wow.
there was a funny one. This is a stupid story for you guys. Me being a Spanish teacher, I got a chuckle out of this. They had a donut that was cinnamon. It was cinnamon dusted, and it had like some white glaze on it with cinnamon, and the sign in front of it said the Jesus donut, and everybody was freaking out saying, "Oh, they call it the Jesus donut. It must be the best donut that they have. It's, oh my gosh, look, honey, they got the Jesus donut. Oh, that's the donut of all donuts." And I was like, I think it's the Jesus. And I told the girl behind the counter, I said, you guys need to put an accent mark over the U, the Jesus donut. I go, it was a churro flavored donut. They call it the Jesus because of the Hispanic. So people are like, oh, the Jesus donut. I'm like, no, it's the Jesus. I had to correct people on that.
They could change it to the chewy donut, but
Yep.
then people are going to think, well, this one's not that chewy.
Well, that's racist. Oh, exactly. Yeah.
You can call it the CHUY because that's the nickname for Jesus.
I
right?
have been known, yes.
Like if your name is William, they call you Bill. If your name is Jesus, they call you Chewy.
Chewy.
If your name is Margaret, they call you Peg.
Exactly.
Not everybody at TSA knows that.
No, unfortunately not. Don't get detained at the airport. But with that, anyway, I have been known to carry a Sharpie with me. And I do correct signs that are not properly written in Spanish. I have been known to correct the signs.
Was it accento?
There was one time I was at Walmart and a guy was complaining about how the Spanish-speaking population didn't understand the rules about returning open DVDs and open video games. And he pointed at the sign on the counter. He goes, people don't know how to read instructions about what you're supposed to do. And I said, dude, there are so many mistakes in the sign. You can't even...
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense to me, and I'm a Spanish teacher. I don't even know what you're trying to say. It was like, to return package, no return, but with receipt. It's like, what? So I busted out the Sharpie and I said, this is what it should say. And I just wrote right on. I'm like, dude, if you want people to understand, you got to say it the right way.
Oh shit.
And so
no kidding.
PG-13.
It's my chat.
Uh-oh, I hope Crackle P11's not listening. He better earmuffs.
Yeah,
Earmuffs. Earmuffs.
Travis Jr., ear muffet. I'm sorry, kids and grandmas. It slipped. It's my chat. I'm sorry. I guess I can only be mad at myself.
Yeah. So we are in Kansas. We're about 34 miles south of Wichita right now. The wind is in our favor. We have the wind at our back, I believe, moving us along.
Nobody's watching this right now. You gotta figure nobody is at Star for Entertainment. They're going back and go back and watch this whole broadcast. I'm sure. This is kind of like that live PD thing. Like you catch it. You're in the moment or you're not.
Yep.
Jump in and out as we're driving.
Yep.
Rupan dropped a bunch of F-bombs in last night's Jelsma chat. Looks like everyone left after he cussed a lot. Well, way to go. Way to run everybody else out of the room.
Did he just narc on himself?
So, I'm curious. It says no viewers, but clearly you're watching.
Well, hey, go fire it up on your phone. Let's see how many people are checking it out. Maybe it'll show us.
I don't know. Does it tell me?
Because we're just going to be talking to the camera all day. To be
Yeah,
honest with
like
you.
nothing exciting is going to happen. Lord willing,
Let's
on this
hope
trip.
not.
Yeah, let's
God,
hope
no.
not.
I don't want to be. I mean,
There's a bunch of wind turbines up here, and now I understand.
turbines or turbines?
Well, either way, I understand why it's so windy up here because look at all these fans blowing.
Exactly. It's got to be windy up here, eh?
Yeah, no wonder it's so windy.
And is it a lever or is it a lever?
It's not.
Because remember the soap. There's that soap called Lever 2000.
Yeah, I think
It wasn't Lever 2000.
No, but there are people named Lever.
Okay. Well, the reason why it's called Lever 2000 is because Unilever owns Unilever.
Okay.
Unilever, they make
That's a
they
company.
make different body washes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think they call it Lever 2000.
Yeah, because they
Lever
own like
2000.
Dove and Old
Oh, the
Spice
Lever
and stuff.
2000 sounds pretty cool. Sounds like
Lever 2000, I would buy that gun.
Yes.
let's start
Put
our
a
own
lever
company.
gun on the package with the soap.
Oh, no, but I would buy that. Like I'm gonna go shoot my Lever 2000. It's chambered in 3030.
Heck yeah, man. Or the Lever 2000 sounds like a
I
cowboy
want that.
space crossover movie.
I want that Lever 2000 that's chambered in 500 Smith and Wesson.
Oh, heck yeah.
You know, or what was the other one? The
Was it?
They
They
had
had
a-
a company. I got it as an Axle Arms or something.
no, that was Bighorn.
Bighorn Arms.
Bighorn Arms, Cody, Wyoming.
Yeah, Cody, Wyoming.
There will
Shout
be a
out, man.
video that we did an interview with Bighorn Arms in Cody, Wyoming. I ran the camera for Travis. He did the interview. It's going to go up on his channel. So find it'll be here maybe in the next day or two.
I'm gonna go
Sometime
home and
this week.
process the
Travis is going
channels
to do
and-
all
yeah.
the editing on those videos and then get them put up.
Don't need much. I had a fantastic cameraman that kept things going and took
Well,
some good shots.
I did my best to keep stuff in focus and
I
in
know, bro.
frame.
That makes it easier for me. So yeah.
So yeah, that look out. But those guns are cool, and they build their guns. I mean,
In-house.
in house.
They said roughly 60 hours
60
goes into
hours
one
per gun.
rifle. They start at 2400 for a 454. No, what was it? No, the 500 Smith was the least expensive
I think it was.
gun. I don't.
Well, that's because there's the least amount of steel in that.
yeah, the barrel's the thinnest steel. I mean, the 500 Smith and Wesson is like $24.99.
The barrel walls are thicker with a smaller bore, so
Hey,
there's
man,
more
talk-
steel and it costs
Talk
more.
about the options.
Oh man, the options. Now the one that got my eye was and these all have the, I don't know the Marlin model number, the 336. Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah, 336.
So they've got, you know, the lever that curves. It's got the pistol grip wrist on the stock, and you know, the lever curves like a Marlin, which is backwards from the way that my hand curves. So I can't quite figure that out. But whatever. Yeah, I never have figured that one out. I think Big Ring was an option too. I think they had a Big Ring.
They had like 20 options you could add to the gun if you
You
wanted
could
to.
get the Big Ring, but they had one that looked, from distance, it looked like the gray laminate stock rifle that Chris Pratt has in Jurassic World, that 4570, and but you pick the thing up and it's in 500 Smith and Wesson Magnum.
Magnum.
And so that thing is shooting, like, they can get up to a 700 grain bullet, and in that long of a barrel, because that's what a 18-inch barrel, 20-inch
Yeah,
barrel,
18 and a half.
18 and a half inch barrel. I said, what's the muzzle velocity of that 500 coming out of the end of that 18 and a half inch barrel? And they said, oh my gosh, it's up to like 26,
27.
50 feet per
Now,
second.
it doesn't beat 17 HSWI, but you know they're two different markets.
Well, I'm not hunting
You know?
unicorns either.
yeah, well, yeah.
I don't actually
You
need to
won't have
explode
anything
the
left
deer.
if you hit it with a yes.
I don't have to explode the deer, but
Back to the 500.
that 500. So this, it made me, once he said that, and I'm holding this thing, and it's hefty.
Yeah.
It's a solid chunk of
American-made
steel,
freedom.
of American-made freedom is exactly what it is.
Buying and selling.
It
for
had
free.
that beautiful gray laminate furniture. It had a PEEP rear sight and a green fiber optic front sight. It also had a rail, a Picatinny rail running down the top of the receiver. So you could put whatever scout scope you wanted on this thing, or red dot, or whatever you wanted to. But it just, and I wanted to take it home. I wanted to just take off sprinting and see if I could get to the door before anybody tased me. But
how much? What, $1,300 if you wanted the hardened finish on it.
the color case hardened frame option adds $1,200 to the price. Just that alone.
And we were trying to figure out why. I mean, I'm not going to rip on it, but I'm like, maybe they have to prepare a batch of this chemical to do it, and if that's just what it costs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's a one-off, unless they have other guys that want that
Apparently,
finish.
they probably aren't mass producing color case hardened.
Yeah.
Which, why would you not? If color case hardened is an option, why would you pick anything else?
Yeah.
Why would you pick blued steel if color case hardened is an option?
You want to grab me a couple quarters out of there? You got another
Still
silver.
really don't feel like bending or not kidding. Of course I will.
Yeah, man. But yeah, they had all kinds of different options you can go for, all kinds of different, your
But-
choice of wood.
But my feeling when I picked that rifle up is like somebody said, "Oh, look at my 4570 Jurassic World gun," and the guy that built that was like, "Oh, that's a cute little toy. Hold my beer." So that thing is launching a 700 grain bullet at 2,600 feet per second. Yeah, keep your 4570.
It's pure. It's straight up beast mode, man.
I'm gonna have
Beast
to be a
mode all
better
the way.
shot though if I get that. Because after I shoot one time, I'm gonna be so far away. The recoil is gonna throw me into the next zip code.
I have to lead sled it to dial it in just to save money on ammo, and then after that, take a few rounds and just see what happens.
I know.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just thinking. You know, the recoil on that is gonna one shot and you're in a different zip code.
Yep.
So you don't get a second shot at your deer. Plus, if you hit the deer though with the 500, I mean, as long as you get the vitals, that deer's going down.
Yep.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Yep.
But
I think I just have to pick up a ticket here. I don't think I actually have to.
Oh, you're right.
I have to pay it,
Yeah,
so
you're right.
Not for another 20 some miles.
we'll pick our barcode up and then get it later. So now I am all for ethical hunting. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't like the guys that say, well, I shoot a 300 because I can shoot the deer anywhere and it's going to go down. Well, don't shoot the deer anywhere. Why make it
Go
suffer?
for a vital shot, drop it.
Don't make it suffer. Make it a clean, ethical kill.
Yep.
So, but
We're
anyway,
stopping at the Wichita, South Wichita toll road
we're running on a
ticket
battery.
pickup here.
Yep. The actual Kansas Turnpike.
Ticket.
We're getting
Automated
our
ticket here. Oh my God, it's freezing outside.
Hold on, we're plugging in. So I
Dude,
don't.
bro, it is really cold out.
Well, maybe you're just a wimp.
No, 44 degrees, but it's a chilly 44, man. Yeah, you just go through.
Just because with this chat, there's been so much hot air inside this car.
Let's go, bro. 3, 2, 1, punch it.
Oh, we're racing the Mobility Sales and Service Pickup. M-O-W-bility.
Mobility.
Mobility.
They should call it Mobility Lawn Service.
I like the way you work it. Mobility.
No doubt.
Got to bag it up.
Bag it up.
Or we
I
can
like
mulch
the way
it.
you mow it.
We could mulch it.
Mobility. She's got a weed eater. Riding on that lawnmower. Watch her do a little edging now. Gonna throw down and mow it high. Dun, dun, dun.
That's awesome.
That's
I don't know.
No diggity. That's a no diggity parody.
I don't
right
know
there.
why they don't hire
Like
us to be
Blackstreet.
their hype man.
No doubt. We could write something really awesome.
Mobility, no doubt, yeah.
Gotta bag it up. Mobility.
Do you remember have you seen the video to that?
Yeah, the little friend Penny,
Now-
Penny Hardaway's
Yes!
from Nike.
That
in
was
it.
Lil Penny.
Little Penny. because
Don't
they had
tell
him
me
in
that wasn't Lil
He's like,
Penny.
he just like made guest appearances and ran off.
He's driving that little car.
Yeah.
That was Lil Penny. Does anybody remember those Nike commercials from the 90s?
Anthony Hardaway.
Anthony Hardaway, number
Yeah.
1 for Orlando Magic. Penny, his nickname was Penny. His grandma gave him that nickname because she said he was cute as a penny. And so he grew up his whole life being called Penny Hardaway. And he was point guard. He came along, a year after Shaq did, or the same year that Shaq did?
Yeah.
In fact, if you watch the movie Blue Chips with Nick Nolte, everybody knows Shaq was in that one, but so was Penny Hardaway. There were three guys recruited by Nick Nolte in that movie, and there was Shaq, and there was the tall white kid from Indiana that knew Larry Bird,
Yep.
and then there was I don't remember where this other guy was from, but that was Anthony Hardaway. Like, Nick Nolte sets up like a play in his living room, and he's like, well, Mom, you be right here, and little sister, you be right here, and my jacket, that's the ball, and you pass to him, and then you pass to him, and this is how we're gonna win, because he's got the speed. Remember that was Anthony Hardaway, but he had a shoe deal, and they had Penny, and Lil Penny was like a little claymation guy or a little puppet guy,
Yeah, they would put him in the Nike commercials. I don't
or a
remember what he-
marionette. I don't know what he was.
Yeah, kind of a. Yeah, it was kind of.
He looked like a
marionette
marionette,
Yeah.
but no strings.
Yep.
I don't know how they filmed him, stop motion or what they did, but
Hey,
they
we've
LP.
officially got 4 seasons now.
We have had all
We
4
had
seasons.
snow,
Well, we had
rain, a little
before.
bit of sunlight. Yeah, we did have some rain going down.
I'm really okay. I like snow. I'm really okay with no snow this trip.
Yeah,
It is raining now.
April and May are heavy-duty, severe thunderstorm months for Tulsa. I really was not looking forward to a
Why?
hail claim on the way home.
Why?
Having to worry about because I paid
Why?
it every year, and I get tired of paying my deductible for
I know.
hail.
Hail
I've
sucks.
done it. Well, not every year, but
So
probably
do
about
tornadoes.
6 times now. Yeah, the tornadoes would have been fun.
Tornadoes and hail suck. We don't want those.
So if we do want to make her in November, we'd have to worry about snow and getting stuck in a blizzard and
And
not making it
blizzards.
back for days, because that's happened to people that have left for Thanksgiving and could make it back.
I can't do want to make her in November because that means giving up deer season, which I'm doing next year. We're planning on making a return trip to Jamaica, and it's going to be in November.
I think you left your watch there.
I need to go back. Yeah, yeah.
You have to go pick it up.
I left my sense of peace there, and I have to go back and find it.
Yep.
Plus, Stella needs to go and get her groove back.
Stella got her. How did Stella get her groove?
Well, I don't think that we can talk about how, because that movie was a little steamy. But where?
Yeah.
I think that was Jamaica, wasn't it?
I don't know if I ever actually watched.
I don't know.
I remember
beautiful Caribbean island. Jamaica is a beautiful Caribbean island. Stands to reason that it sure could have been Jamaica. I don't know. I don't remember the movie. I remember that it was kind of steamy. That's all I remember. But anyway, it's a beautiful place. So if you've never been to Jamaica,
movies like that. Watch RoboCop.
Isn't that funny? Same way.
Yeah. I wasn't allowed to watch Porky's, but I could watch. I
was
Nightmare on Elm
raised.
Street.
We weren't allowed to watch movies with a lot of sex and violence in them. We had no sex,
It's probably why we turned out okay.
Rambo. First Blood Part 2.
Yeah, because there was, other than him holding that poor slumped his guide through the jungle, that woman that he kind of liked.
Yeah.
Other than him holding her, that was the only real female.
Well, and like there wasn't even any kissing.
No.
They never even had a smooch. In the book, he was going to take her with him back to. I guess they talked about that a little bit in the movie.
Oh.
In the book, though, he really was going to take her with him back to the States, and she had a kid there.
Is Murdoch going to allow that to happen?
You know what? I don't think Rambo was really going to listen to what Murdoch had to say.
Like, he tries to get in the helicopter with that girl. Like, no, just you. He would just punch the guy right out of the helicopter and fly it back home.
Yeah, because Rambo could fly the helicopter.
Yep.
Yeah, if you've never read the novel, you really should read the novel.
Not a movie adaptation.
It's the original novel that the movie was based off of. Well, here's
Blood.
Okay, here's the thing on that, because First Blood was a novel, and then they made the movie, and then the foreword on First Blood Part 2, the foreword, the author says, okay, now I understand that those of you that read the book know that in the end Rambo dies, and in the movie he didn't. So bear with me, because I'm going to make this story because they want to make a sequel. So here's another story where just pretend that Rambo didn't die in the first book. But that was the foreword before you even got to the book, so that was kind of cool. So apparently, you don't need to read the book now. I just gave you spoilers.
I want to see what happens to him,
But yeah. He died at the end, I think, in the town.
Okay.
I don't know if they shot him or he shot himself, but he didn't get out of that police station alive.
After Denny, he got him?
Richard Crenna let him out, when they arrested him. That didn't happen in the book. So, but for the movie, they didn't want the hero to die. And and I don't know if Stallone had issues or who changed it, but they wanted him to at least, getting arrested was okay, but at least he lived. And so then we were able to set up the movie where he's in prison at the beginning of First Blood Part 2.
Okay.
And that's where it starts. But there's a lot of stuff in the book that didn't make it to the movie, which is always the case. So you should always watch the movie first and then read the book second. Because if you read the book first and then watch the movie,
you'll be nothing but disappointed. Yeah.
You're like, oh, they changed this. Oh, they didn't put that in there. Oh, that didn't happen in the book. The end of Twilight. What's the last movie where like everybody died in that big fight and the dad got his head ripped off or whatever, and people are like, what? That didn't happen in the book.
What's Twilight?
It's a show that
14-year-old girls watched.
Something.
I'm messing with you, bro. I like it. It's a good movie. Hey, this is our stop up ahead. This is our rest stop. We're gonna stop and get some gas.
I was not a Twihard, but I did go see some of the movies, and I was so starved for friends at one point that I went to watch the movie with, I wasn't even with a girl. I was just with a group of people, and I wasn't even a date. But
it's like, yo, you want to come along with us? Sure.
It was kind of like where I was living at the time. Like, we didn't have any midnight releases of movies, and we drove 45 miles to the next town and went to a midnight release. So we did that 2 years in a row with both parts of that. Was it Breaking On? Was that the last one? Anyway,
I think so. I've seen them all.
When somebody's head gets ripped off in that movie, and the whole theater just exploded. My buddy Daniel and I were the only ones that hadn't read the books, I think, in that whole theater. And we're just like, the whole theater went, what? We were also like the only guys in there No, they were the guys that got drug in there by their girlfriends too.
Yeah, I didn't think they were bad movies. I just thought it was kind of funny because like Bella in the first one, she always looked like she was gonna vomit.
Well, and
She was like,
other than the fact that the second movie was the second movie where she spent the whole movie just like in anguish,
yeah,
because her Edward left her. Like, dude, grow
she's
up.
already not getting any vitamin D. No wonder why she's
No
so
kidding.
frustrated all
Yeah,
the time,
right.
you know?
All right, we're at
All right.
our stop. We're gonna gas up the car
Yep, yep,
and then eat some fast food and gas up ourselves.
Yep.
And quite literally, possibly.
Yeah, it could be an interesting last hour. Of the
So
show.
we're gonna take this off. We're taking a break for a while. I'm not
Yep.
gonna leave this live feed going while we eat because nobody needs to see that. Thanks, Rupen. You have fun. I will. I'll kick this back on later.
Yep.
Later in the drive, guys. Thanks for
Talk to you guys a little bit once we get
Thanks
going.
for hanging with us. I'm
Pull up ahead.
sad that you were so starved for entertainment that you were
We're
watching
fun to
this.
watch. We're fun to-
I
you
think
don't know,
we're,
we've talked
I
about
think we're
donuts.
entertaining as
I
heck.
think we'll come back and have a gun talk.
I don't
after
know
this.
who wouldn't.
Donuts,
watch
guns,
us.
and Twilight.
Donuts, guns,
Dude,
and
what?
Twilight.
That's. I mean, where can you get that kind of entertainment?
And Worcestershire
Other than
sauce.
Yankee Marshall chat, you might get all three of them in.
I
one,
think we're
you know.
better than Yankee Marshall chat. I think we're
Yeah,
better.
I think so.
We're way
I think
better
so.
than Yankee
Yeah.
Marshall chat. You know why? Because we talk about lever action guns,
Yeah, not lever.
not lever action guns.
It's lever alone. It's lever.
Lever alone and use a lever.
Lever alone. That's my lever.
I'm clever, so I use a lever.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back.
All right.
Okay.
Peace out.
Peace out, homies.